And ladies and gentlemen, it's time to say hello and welcome. Welcome to another exciting edition of the program Ashford Garley Live. On this beautiful Tuesday night, as we come to you from Detroit. And you might just want to tell friends, relatives, and loved ones to log on to www.bridgeradioafrica.com. We're also on YouTube tonight. On YouTube, simply type in Bridge Radio Africa. And of course, we're on Facebook. We're introducing to you our new platform called Bridge TV Africa. And by the way, how do you like our new television logo? Well, invite a few friends so that we can together have a great time tonight. As we bring you the political soccer game between the CDC and CPP. What do you think gonna win tonight? We've got lots of interesting players, folks. Again, don't be selfish. Don't just enjoy the game by yourself. Well, tonight the program is dedicated to Mrs. Michael Cooper Kokoya as she celebrates her birthday today. Congratulations, happy birthday, and let us show her that you live to see many, many more birthdays to come. And this one comes from all of your friends and family members, both in Liberia and the diaspora. Shortly, we're going to link controls with our correspondent in Liberia, Angel Moritz, for the news headlines. In the meantime, we're looking forward to seeing Mrs. Letty Brooks Rabbit out of Information Highway. And by the way, if anyone out there's also celebrating his or her birthday, Bridge TV Africa just want to say congratulations on anniversary. Let's go. Let's have fun. Welcome. This is yours truly, the brother who doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than the lion. Some call him the golden voice of Liberia. Others call him the commanding general of the microphone. Others call him the microphone medicine. Welcome. this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you Mrs. Lexi Brooks Rappers out of Information Hardware. Mrs. Rappers, hello and welcome to the show. Good. Too blessed to be stressed. How about yourself?
Well, thank you. Happy belated Memorial Day.
Thank you. Wish you the same.
Thank you. Okay. Good evening and welcome to another great edition of BridgeTVAfrica.com with your host, Ashford, the giant Garley. Please note we are coming to you from three different platforms tonight. Three major platforms, I may add. We're coming from Facebook Live, YouTube, and BridgeTVAfrica.com. Look to the right-hand corner of your device where you'll see BridgeTVAfrica.com. Again, we say on this edition, we welcome you back from another beautiful weekend to Bridge TV and we thank you for choosing Bridge Radio and TV as your choice of information and entertainment. Please be respectful of each other. Please be respectful of our host. And most importantly, please be respectful of our guests. We ask that you please share the broadcast as your friends are not my friends. Last but not least, we again ask that you please visit Bridge TV Africa for more information and entertainment. Thank you. Please make yourselves comfortable. Grab your drink of choice or your meal of choice as we take you for another ride on Bridge TV Africa LLC. Back to you, Mr. Garley.
By the way, Mrs. Roberts, how is the weather in New Jersey? It is about, earlier I went out, it was 92 degrees, extremely hot in Detroit. How about the New Jersey area?
Very, very warm today as well. We had a great weather, but as the evening comes, the temperature drops. But it was great today. Very sunny, very bright. In fact, I just sat in the sun just to get my vitamin D.
Thank you so much. We're going to join you shortly for more updates on education tonight. By the way, we want to go to West Africa, Liberia, where Miss Angel Morris is standing by. Angel, hello. Welcome to the show.
A pleasant, warm, and vibrant good evening to everyone, listeners, viewers, and fans of Bridge Radio Africa. My name is Angel Morris. This is another day, and I would love to welcome you to our major headlines making news across Africa. As a matter of fact, this is a part of the presentation, and today we have featured 7 African countries in this edition, prioritizing Liberia. To start with Liberia, the massive corruption that occurred during the Ebola epidemic in the country has put the General Auditing Commission on its heels to caution the Executive Committee on COVID-19 that is headed by Mayor Jefferson Koji to be very cautious of how funds coming in for the fight against COVID-19 are disbursed. Also in Liberia, in Buchanan-Greenbassa County, ArcelorMittal Liberia has announced an increase in its level of support to the Ministry of Health with contributions of medical supplies and support for facilities to strengthen the national response to the spread of the novel coronavirus pandemic. And lastly, Liberia has recorded 226 confirmed COVID-19 cases, 144 recovered cases, 96 active cases, and a total of 26 deaths. We now go to Nigeria, and this one says Nigeria has altogether recorded 8,333 confirmed COVID-19 cases, 233 deaths. And in South Africa has recorded 24,264 confirmed COVID-19, cumulatively 524 deaths. Still in South Africa, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa announced on Tuesday that churches and other recognized places of worship will operate from June, when the country eases lockdown restrictions further, but will be limited to 50 people or less. In Ghana, this one says Ghana has recorded 6,964 confirmed COVID-19 cases with a total of 32 deaths. We now go to DR Congo, and in DR Congo, a hotline set up a year ago to support sufferers of domestic violence, gender-based violence, and that of sexual gender-based violence in DR Congo has experienced a huge increase in calls from women locked down with their abusers. In Madagascar, this herbal tea gives results in 7 days. Madagascar President Andrew Rajoelina has said tests have been carried out. 2 people have now been cured by this herbal tea. And we now go to Uganda. Authorities in Uganda have launched a manhunt on 7 truck drivers who vanished into a Livi estate of Kampala after testing positive for the novel coronavirus pandemic. And according to reports, the drivers are mainly from Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Before escaping, the drivers had alleged that the coronavirus pandemic is a hoax and a means by the government to exploit their people. Still in Uganda, Uganda has recorded 222 confirmed COVID-19 cases. To conclusively conclude, according to the Africa Centers for Disease Control, there were 4,000 new cases of COVID-19 reported on the continent on Tuesday. And that does it for our major headlines making news across Africa. It's over to you, Mr. Garley.
Thank you. That was the powerful voice of the young and vibrant Miss Angel Morris out of West Africa, Monrovia, Liberia. Well, Angel, bring us up to speed about the distribution process of COVID-19 relief items.
Well, as I stated yesterday, the process has started, and you were talking about the food distribution, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So the process has started, and at this moment, the vulnerable communities have been prioritized. The blind people, those that aren't seeing, those that are disabled, they have been receiving their food supply now. So it has started, and our hope and prayer is that Liberia is gonna one day get COVID-19 free. And as the president is trying his possible best, the government is also trying, and citizens are also kind of trying, even though they are not 100% abiding by all health protocols.
Now, how is the weather in Liberia? I'm told it's raining out there.
Yeah, currently it's raining. It has been like this since yesterday. The weather has not been really, really fair, but yet and still, I think we are going to rain season now.
Okay, Angel, thank you so much, and we'll catch up with you later, okay?
Okay, Mr. Garley.
Okay, we want to go back to information highway, pick up a few comments, and then we can do the lineups for both teams. Tonight we have CDC going against CPP. Again, the program tonight is dedicated to Mrs. Michael Cooper Kokoya. Congratulations as you celebrate your birthday, Mrs. Roberts.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Garley. And yes, thank you, Miss Angel Morris, for the update. Trending comments we have coming from Mr. Roland Zena Taylor. He says, "Good evening from Liberia, Gardnersville, aluminum factory, Plainfield community. I'm watching you live." We have Miss Ann Payne. She says, "Sorry, phone went off. My brother." Rufus Wilson. "Hello, original giant." Mike Swingbe. "Hello, my Bridge Radio family. Angel, bring the noise from the motherland. Liberia. Hope all is well. And Payne, good evening, Mrs. Roberts and everyone. Good evening, Mrs. Payne. Kebe Precious Howard. Hello, watching from mine comfort zone. Saba Richards, Saba, great job. Orita really. Oh, yes, love the game. We have Mr. Alston Carpet watching. Kalon Zayas in the building. Ashford H. Garley, she says. Angelo, Angela Cassell Bush. Happy birthday, Madam Blessing. Fidel Campbell. Good evening, Bridge Radio. I'm watching from ATL. Akbar Mumbalu watching from Washington, D.C. Roland Zina Tyler. Good morning to all. Mba Yi Trape Shata from Liberia. Agnes Samakai Moba. She sends her love to Liberia from Liberia, prayers and everything. We have from Mba Yo Trapo Wata. Liberia is winning, he says. Robert Boone Logan. Robert Boone Logan is watching. Sam A. Soma. Hi, Mr. Garley, the Giant. I'm watching from Newcastle, Delaware. It's Ann Payne. Others call him man that like others call him man that likes to drop the bomb. Levy Thompson is watching. We have Roland Zina Tyler again. So happy for the show, Mr. Garley. We will share. Lucy Aku. Hi, beautiful. Margot Cooper Kokoya. She says, wow, what a big surprise. My longtime little brother. We came a long way from LBS. So grateful. Thanks. Roland Zina Tyler. Good morning, Mrs. Angel Morris. Lucy Aku watching with love. And Payne. Okay, girl Roberts. Have yourself some time. D. God Grace. Roland Zina Tyler replying to D. Hey, what's up? Long time. We have Mr. Damawa. That's Miss Damawa Dede Waller is watching. We have also D. God Grace. She's super. Roland Zina Tyler writes, raining over here for sure. Philip Bala, good evening to the giant. Elizabeth Bowen is watching. Josepha Shaw Thomas writes, long time I've been missing this show. Lucy Aku, she's super, very good reader. Rufus Wilson, Ashford, your little brother. Henry Costa lied and raised the page. We are back 25,000 or 2,500 that he said we are give Joe Borkai and we are was bullying Joe Borkai for the money. Costa had to pay it back, but it but I wrote on your show yesterday because Emmanuel Silas of WECC Justice JUJA show on his show yesterday clearly and repeatedly said George Weah gave Joe Borkai the amount in question, $30,000. Henry Costa decided to lie to easily raise on his show 2,500 to prove lies that Joe Borkai can pay Weah money back. This Costa boy is still not ashamed and scamming his way too. Wow. Okay, we'll visit that. Metusla Doe writes, good evening and thank you for providing information for us. Roland Zina, Tyler, many thanks, Bridge Radio. I am proud of the program. That's Bridge TV. Thank you very much. Shepherd, Shepherd is watching. We have Mr. Mika Yassier watching. Michael Bobby Bo, we're here. Franklin Malia, hello, bro. Franklin Malia writes, watching from Minnesota, USA. We have Miss Lapuziga replying to Michael. You hear? Back to you, Mr. Garley. So those are the trending comments.
Okay, folks, grab something to drink. Don't be selfish again. Invite a few friends as we get ready to bring you the lineups for both teams. Are you ready? Lopo Zika is in the building. Vendale Campbell is also in the building tonight. Michael Bow, Shepherd, Franklin Malia, Washington from Minnesota. What a way to bring up the lineups. Being a husband is a full-time job. Marriage is not for boys. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. My name And for the strangers tonight, folks, for CPP, the captain for CPP tonight, folks. Alexander Cummins. We also see Oben Joseph Yuman Boyka. Then in Europe is in the lineup as well. Youngly Kanka is also on the field tonight. Social Contract is also on the field tonight, folks. I'm telling you. Then we'll have AKV, Active, Known, and Visible. The Disruptor, Henry Costa is on the field. This man has no friends, no permanent friends. We also have VPS on the field tonight, folks. I'm telling you, what an interesting political soccer game. Then we'll have appointment based on party, not competence. No CPP, no job. Then we'll have Von. We have lies. We have deception. We also have Opion King Kong. Elephant meat. But CP does not have real teeth. They got false teeth in the wrong jaw. Self-interest. Party with no identity. No permanent HQs. Everyone wants to be president. The final draft. You know the drafting final, then you go sign? How can you sign something that is not final? When will we see the final draft? Then you got signed before you know. How can you sign something before you know it? But I thought, oh man, you my boy came from Lofa. I didn't know you had some connection with Sando County. You have to sign before you know. He said, I already in the garden answer you. My name is. And then for the home team, George Ware. Can you hear me? You're here now? At the president yesterday. George Ware is the captain for CDC. We also have Joy Howard Taylor, Samuel Toy, Natana McGill, Bill Twawe, Wilson Toppin, Samuel Blue, Mabuto Yimpan, Moses Colley, Alosha Stalu. We also have Von, Opion King Kong. You got Von on CPP, you got Von on CDC. You also have Opion King Kong on CDC, then you got Opion King Kong on CPP. They're not easy tonight. Social distancing, face masks, frequent hand watching, DEA, Immigration, GSA, Liberia National Police, Ministry of Justice. Stay on CDC. You also have retaliation, witch hunt, grudge, fear, intimidation, selective justice, suppression, hunger, domestic violence, prostitution, drugs abuse, hard time, market works, baboon drugs, human trafficking, bribery, tribalism, executive torture, nepotism, boyo, double jeopardy, greed, murder, sex trafficking, police brutality, D-hole cover hole, false promises, lies, and corruption. Oh man. Where are you tonight? Are you on VIP or the round VIP? The game will not be easy tonight. No selling around VIP, folks, I'm telling you. The board is not in the middle of the field. Linesman number 1 is the Senate. Linesman number 2 is the House of Representatives. The referee is the Supreme Court of Liberia. Mouse Commissioner, National Election Commission. Chief Commentator, the marker for medicine, the giant, the now you know me, Garley. Let's go. The ball comes to corruption. Corruption to false promises, onto sex trafficking. Back to corruption, then to murder. Murder beats woman to greed. Greed to double jeopardy, to nepotism. Then the ball comes back to executive torture. But he making he doesn't. The ball has been taken away now by tribalism. If you can't speak crew, you can't get a good job. If you're not from the southeast, you can't get a good job. So job in the CDC-led government now, it's not based on competence. It's based on loyalty. Based on who know you. Then the ball comes to market works, baboon draws. Market works, baboon draws, looks around, he sends a file down for intended for hard time to drugs abuse, then to prostitution. Will he make it? No, he doesn't. The ball comes back to statutory rapist. Statutory rapists look around to prostitution, onto domestic violence. The COVID-19 year, you got people in your space, you can't get breathing room. Domestic violence is on the rise, folks. Domestic violence to hunger to suppression, suppression to selective justice, back to suppression, intimidation gets a better hand, then the ball comes to fear to grudge, onto witch hunt to retaliation to George Weah looks around, back to retaliation back to George Weah to witch hunt back to George Weah to Joy Howard Taylor. The second most powerful woman in Liberia. Domestic violence, the raping our younger sisters in that country, and she can't say a point. But I don't blame her, because she used to seeing abuse. You know, she saw her ex-husband doing when he came to town, how they abuse our younger sisters in that country. The pro-war abuse our little sisters, so they are used to seeing these kinds of things. War that was sponsored by the old lady, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Back to the field of play, the ball comes to boycott. Boycott the comments to Yuri back to Ganga. And Boycott is asking questions. What about the thing I hear in the city, Gato? You gotta be no active and visible. But Papa, you don't sign a team. You just signed a team before you know. I thought you were from Lofa. So you're from Sano County now? The old man signed a team before he got to know that the very discriminative clause were in the draft. What kind of trouble is he so? You're telling the people in one breath. Now no, you ain't getting power yet, but you're thinking about the same thing. Hey, Liberia, the elephant man here had to chew. CPP want to chew the elephant man, but they got false teeth. How can you put the elephant man in the wrong jaw? Back to the field of play, the ball comes to lies. Lies to Von to deception. Deception back to Yomli Kanka, back to deception. Deception to Yuri back to deception. Deception to Cummins back to deception. Deception to Boyka. Boyka doesn't see the ball. They ask whether Boyka sleeping. He said, I'm not sleeping. My eyebrow jet too long at all. I can't sleep. I'm wide awake. Then they say, Boyka, is that true? You see, he tired to run for president? He said, I beg you, the thing will fight to the end. I had to carry my knee around since I was sick the last time. But yeah. Now, my question now tonight, folks. With Joseph Human Boyka, that was in a battle with George Weah. How can Alexander Cummings convince Joseph Human Boyka to be the head of the ticket? Because Cummings said the only thing he's interested in, he got to be president. Cummings said he can't be president, he'll operate from the private sector. You need to come together because you have a better chance now to unseat George Weah in 2023. But if you don't come together as one team, can you please mute your phone? If you can't come together as one, that 12 years you're gonna get George Weah soul. If you don't put your act together, all of you people, some of you will run for president until you get old. At the end of the day, God will say hello to y'all. Charles Walker Bronskin, rest in peace. Back to the field of play, the ball come to Wish Hunt. Wish Hunt to grudge onto Boyo. Boyo to retaliation to suppression. Suppression to domestic violence. Back to George Weah. George Weah back to grudge. Grudge back to George Weah onto Wish Hunt. Will he make it? No, he doesn't. He connects Samuel Toy. Toy to Joy Howard Tiller. Back to Toy to McGill. McGill to Bill Twawe. Onto Washington. Will he make it? No, he doesn't. The ball comes to Benin Ayure. You were to Cummins. Cummins double shovels. He beats so many. Possible the team the ball comes to sound before you know. How can you sound something before you see it? The whole country business you go on Zoom to sandpaper on Zoom. The whole country business. That the change you want to bring to Liberia? That Zoom now you will sign the country business? What kind of trouble we see so? Then the ball comes to Disruptor. Disruptor to VPS. VPS to opponent based on party and not competence. Based on party and not competence looks around to active, no, and visible. Active, no, and visible to CPP. No CPP, no job. Then the ball comes to Vonvon. Vonvon looks around. Vonvon to lies, lie to deception. Deception to opium King Kong. On to Elephant Meat. Elephant Meat looks around. Will he make it? No, he doesn't. The ball comes to self-interest. Party with no identity gets a better hand. Then the ball comes to no permanent headquarters. Oh man, everybody wants to be president. George Weah is calling the players. Gentlemen, this guy won't take the team from me. You got to fight hard. But this is what I'm going to do. And George Weah is doing all the little things now. As these people fight to unseat him. George Weah is building homes in Grand Jita County. George Weah is building homes in Southtown Grand Crew County. George Weah is doing all the little things. They're building roads. He has started the ground breaking down of the RIA. You know, this tooling we have for since 1900. George Weah is trying to send a statement. Even though George Weah came to power and started to erase himself at the expense of Liberia and the poor Liberian people, reason for which CPP vests, they say they want to change the whole country. And the last time we heard again, Reginald Guthrie is in the news. Rainbow Alliance. So the small country that why all the people that just jumping there now to be president? Liberia official. Pray for Liberia. The boy comes to executive torture. Executive torture to nepotism. Nepotism to tribalism onto human trafficking. Human trafficking to bribery. Bribery to monkey works, baboon draw to hard time. Hard time to D-hole, cover hold, then to drugs abuse, onto prostitution. To domestic violence, to hunger. Hunger to suppression, to selective justice. Intimidation gets the better hand. The boy comes by the wish him. Wish him looks around to retaliation. Oh man! The boy is way off target. Making it no trouble to CPP.
C'est ça, man. Quand on est marié, je suis prêt. Belle femme.
The boy comes to sign before you know.
Boucher.
Sign before you know to Boyka. Boyka to Cummins back to sign before you know.
Yep.
Sign before you know to Ure. Ure back to sign before you know. Then the boy comes back to AKV. Active. Known. Visible. So, what is active, known, and visible? Some of you who qualify, who want to serve your country. If you're not active, if you're not known, if they can't see you, tell your own goal. That when our feet have the body. So are you telling me the very qualified medical doctor that want to come to Liberia and perform brain surgeries because he's not active, he's not known, he's not visible, then he on his own. Ego. You have to be within the inner circle of the CPP to get job. Then what's the difference? Then you are just the refined version of the CDC. Not different. We will continue to fool the Liberian people. You know, Liberia now is like this beautiful girl who went to convent of CWA, and you've been chasing this girl for ever so long. But the girl can't give you something. The girl is just giving you the runaround. If you don't put your act together, if you don't come claim to the Liberian people, the Liberian people are open now. Some of you people will run for president until you start working with sticks in that country. They will bring your money, they will eat your money. At the end of the day, they will vote for Bakumbe. That the men is still doing something. Even though the men are kitty, can steal a head. But you take 1,000 and give you 50 cents. And you never own 25 cents before you see 50 cents, you'll be happy, right? You see the people in 2 zones yesterday and today. They're happy. They say the president is building homes. Building concrete homes. Some of them never saw concrete houses before. They never saw flush toilet before. They say the president doing it. Go to Southern Grand Crew. And Joshua is just making it hard for the next president to come from the southeast in Liberia. How can you convince the people of Nima County? How can you convince the people of Lofa? How can you convince the people of Bumming, Bunk, Monserrado, Grand Bassa, Cape Mount? Because the people from the southeast, everything they can do, they will just put it for everybody. We inside. No score to either side. No score to CDC and no score to CPP. Folks, who do you think going to win tonight? The people who say if you don't join the CDC, you will not get job. Or the people who say if you don't know active and visible, you will not get job. So who do you think you're going to win? Going to win again tonight? The Liberian man say you stay with the devil, you know, than the angel you never see, right? Y'all be careful here. Y'all rethink your strategy. Your hands already caught in the cookie jar, then you won't lie. That thing out there, that mistake. They're not even the final drive there. You know they're not the final drive, then you go do what? You go sign paper on zone. That on zone, you want to discuss whole country business. You couldn't wait till COVID-19 finish, sir. The ball comes to immigration. Immigration on the DEA, back to immigration. Then the ball comes to GSA, to the Liberia National Police, on the Ministry of Justice. Will he make it? No, he doesn't. Then the ball comes to social distancing. Social distancing to face mask. Face mask to Opion King Kong to Vonvon. Vonvon to Alosho Stalu. Alosho Stalu to Moses Wakoli. On to Mabudu Yimpan. Mabudu Yimpan to Saint Lou. Saint Lou looks around to Washington, back to Saint Lou. Will he make it? No, he doesn't. Then the ball comes back to Bill Twawe. Bill Twawe loses the ball now to Witch Hunt.
C'est ça, man. Quand on est marié.
Witch Hunt to intimidation, onto selective justice. Selective justice looks around to suppression. Suppression to hunger. Hunger back to suppression, to domestic violence, onto prostitution. Prostitution to D-hole, cover hole, onto drugs abuse, to hard time to market works, Baboon George. Will he make it? No, he doesn't. Then the ball comes by the tribalism onto executive torture. Executive torture to nepotism, onto Boyo to double jeopardy. Then the ball comes by the greed to murder, to sex trafficking, then to police brutality, back to D-hole, cover hole, to false promises, to lies to corruption, corruption back to false promises. Will he make it? No, he doesn't. Oh man, way off the crossbar, making no trouble now to CPP. And I see boycott and comments in the low huddle. What are they discussing? Come and say, Papi, let me go. Papi say, come in, why are you acting so? Look at your numbers and look at my number. I got 28% of the direct vote. You got only 7.2%. How can I give you the vote? Convince me.
The money matter. Where from the money pocket?
You're 14, I'll be there and I'll be so.
Where you go?
Everybody wants to be president.
Money.
You need to strike some type of deal. If you can't come up with a convincing deal, I'm afraid.
But where you go job before you go for work?
That boy not taste power already.
Money.
The man get time to go after people who steal from the country because the man himself stealing. To take George Weah from office. That's small thing.
Everything
So you have to look at the numbers.
I say, people they tell me, but I don't get
Send you by your mind, they want you not to be president. What are the numbers on your side? The number not there, you say you want to be president. Only president you want.
Where you go catch you for? Now, wow.
Then the puppet too.
Now money.
They say he's sleeping inside. I'm not sleeping. My eyebrow gel long.
Single. Now money. You go work out.
Greed. Power struggle. The ball comes to sound before you know. Sound before you know to AKV. Active, known, visible. Then the ball comes back to appointment based on party, not competence. No CPP, no job. Then the ball comes to Vonvon to lies, lie to deception. Deception to Opion King Kong. To self-interest. Party with no identity. Well, he making no, he doesn't. He's moving deep in the out of the field. Oh man! But I've been intercepted there by George Weah. 35 minutes gone. No score to either side. No score to CPP. No score to CDC. The ball comes to hard time. Hard time to D-hole, cover hope, then to drugs abuse. Small children, they're on drugs. Children every they're on drugs. They're begging George Weah. They want to get off these drugs. We need rehabilitation. We want to learn trade. George Weah doesn't give a damn. George Weah is all about himself. And this is what the Liberian politicians do, you know. They ask you for something, by the time they get there, then they turn their backs on you. You need to start practicing. Those of you that want to be senators and representatives, the people who elect you to power, you need to start treating them with respect. Some of you travel all over the world and you'll see how these people that want to be in power, the way they treat the people. Sometimes the people, they say, oh, they may want to be represented, you come and speak. Oh. Then the people go there for a whole day. They just sitting there waiting for you. Some of them standing. You can't get them fantasy to drink. No cold water. You that looking for the office, you want people to vote for you. Well, you can't allow them to sit down and you stand. But they have to be standing. Then eat all day. Then you can't win. I win, I will do this for you. By the time you win, then you want to have 4 or 5 girlfriends. And each girlfriend will have a brand new car. Then you be sharp now. Oh Lord. Somebody play the album and goes elsewhere. My name is.
C'est ça, man. Quand on est marié, sucré. Belle femme. Music.
Back to the field of play. The ball comes to prostitution. Prostitution looks around to domestic violence. Domestic violence to hunger. Hunger to hard time. Hard time to suppression. Suppression to selective justice under intimidation. He looks around what he making. No, he doesn't. The ball comes to grudge. Grudge to witch hunt. Witch hunt to retaliation. What he making. No, he doesn't. Then the ball comes to human trafficking. Human trafficking to tribalism onto executive torture. Executive torture to double jeopardy. Arresting one man 2 times for the same crime. Double jeopardy. Nepotism is there. Onto Boyo. People trying yet disappearing. Because of juju purposes. Yo, now lead the Boyo team now. Since the alliance time, you're still bringing the Boyo team back. Just for power. Mr. George Weah. Your plans to postpone the election to 2024. It's got to stop, Mr. President. Please. 2023 should not pass. 2020 should not pass. Please have these elections. Since you claimed that you're still popular and you still have the mandate with Liberian people, that's what you should do. Any attempt by you, Mr. President, to try something else, Babu Divakola. Back to the field of play. The ball comes to George Weah. George Weah to Samuel Toy. Back to George Weah. Where he making he doesn't. George Weah connects Witch Hunt. Witch Hunt back to George Weah. George Weah to corruption. Corruption back to George Weah. George Weah to selected justice. Selected justice back to George Weah. George Weah to prostitution. Prostitution back to George Weah. George Weah to drugs abuse. Drugs abuse back to George Weah. George Weah to bribery. Bribery back to George Weah. George Weah to tribalism. Tribalism back to George Weah. Onto Boyo. Boyo to nepotism. Onto executive torture. Executive torture doesn't get a better hand, but has been taken away now by social distancing. Frequent hand watching. DEA, immigration, to Mabudu Yimpan, onto Wilson Tabu. He making the he doesn't. Still no score to either side. No score to CPP and no score to CDC. The ball comes to D-hole cover hole. D-hole cover hole to false promises. Onto police brutality. The citizens should be your friends. Do not brutalize them. We are not living in the Stone Age. This is the 21st century, for God's sake. Sex trafficking gets a better hand, then the ball comes back to murder. Murder to greed. Greed to double jeopardy on the Boyo. Boyo to nepotism. Nepotism to executive torture. Where he making the he doesn't. The ball has been taken away now by George Weah. The game has come to a momentary standstill, folks. No score to either side. No score to CDC. And no score to CPP. We want to go back to information highway now. Very shortly, we're going to go to halftime. We want to go to Information Highway and see what she has in store for us. In the meantime, congratulations to Michael Cooper Kokoya. Congratulations as you celebrate your birthday tonight. The entire show is for you, my big sister, Felicitacio. This is Lexi Brooks Rabbits. Is she there?
Yeah.
Go ahead and read out a few comments and tell them about.
Well, before I get to the comments, I just wanted to do a little congratulatory shout outs, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, Olik Mumbo is in the building. Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Okay, so we just wanted to do a few congratulations. While it's true we are still dissecting the CPP finding of that collaboration, we just wanted to extend a heartfelt congratulations to Mr. Alexander Cummings as the chairman of the CPP, coming from Bridge TV. I also want to congratulate the disruptor, Mr. Henry P. Costa, on his 33rd place in the World African News. And in doing so, we also, this month is graduation season, and we want to congratulate all of our graduates from the PhD down to kindergarten or preschoolers, because preschoolers are graduating as well to kindergarten. We congratulate all of our Bridge Radio families who are graduating this graduation season. We say thank you, and we wish all of the graduates all of the best into their future endeavors. As you know, education is the key to turning this world that we're in today. So we just wanted to do that for the moment. Now I'll go back to your trending comments.
And just before you go to the comments, last week we had a guest on the show who said most of the schools in Liberia are doing e-learning, and our reporters went out and found out that it was not the case. But before then, I want you to please touch on the game has still come to a standstill, and I think George Weah is injured, and I see the medics on the field. I don't know what's going on. So as we wait for them to start the game or resume the game, please touch on education a little bit as you planned earlier. So go ahead after you read a few comments, and you can touch on that. Go ahead.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. All right. So trending comments we have from from Franklin Malia. He says, "Hello, brother." Franklin Malia. I did give him a shout out earlier. And we have Junior Greer watching from Philadelphia. Shepherd, so true. Ivan Brooks Sr., the Bassa poet, is watching from Norway. Thanks for this creativity, satire, and fire on the ills of Liberia. Putitek Watterson says, is watching. He didn't write anything. Aaron Jockey, what's up, Mr. Garley? Kim Kine, so JNB can just be signing things and not knowing what it's in the contract that he's signing. That's not good. And Payne replying to Rufus, do Kuster really get under these other talk show hosts' skin? Rufus Wilson, Ashford. Yumbly Kanga Lawrence was on Sekou Kane's show today, and she proudly said, since she's been in the Senate, she has never, in her own words, quote, taken any illegal money.
Here?
Ashford.
Hey.
Ashford, can you, with informational access, find out if this woman with others like Boykai, Yuri, others who Liberians know to have dark clouds and doubt that they are not innocent of corruption. Be she be made shame for maybe lying. She has not talking stolen Liberians' money at all. Okay. From Mohammed, their kid Kaba, he says, thank you for the program. Amos George is watching. Smith Dawie is also watching. The Prince Mo is watching. Charles D. Carter is watching. Tenant Nemo Powell is watching. Japa Reeves, welcome, big brother. Ulick Mumbo. Manduopila's son writes, Mr. Garley, the best among the rest. Philip Paswa, replying to Josephus, sit on Facebook and make him one-term president. You guys will be just fine after 2023. Amos George writes, they can put all the Southeastern countries together. The population cannot pass Bump County alone. So we can win Maryland, since Grand Crew and, I guess he said Maryland. Okay, since Grand Crew and Grand G, still he cannot be president because the population is not there. Rufus Wilson writes, is Senator Yumbly Kanga Lawrence corruption free? She said she's not stolen Liberian money at all. She said she has not. You'll find out now before she keep spreading lies. Jeremiah Jackson, ha ha ha. Chapa Reeves, damn the hard game. Josephus Shah Thomas writes, replying to Josephus, you want me to draw it on the board that George Weah and his stupidation led government officials will go to jail? Philip Baswa, replying to Amos, you are another joker. That only Southeast East voted President George Weah will beat your old age CPP again. Oh Lord, this is getting competitive here.
I'm telling you.
Put it, take water inside. Chinese light. Philip Paswa replying to Josephus. Josephus Shah Thomas. You Congo guys will remain bitter for the next decade. Native President George Weah will beat your any day.
You're not bringing your Congo team by again? Hey, man.
My dear. Beverly Pajibo writes, I told you that man was lying. E-class in Liberia by left feet. Jesse Farmer, Mr. Garley, what you make of this statement of Rep. J. Nangbe's law on Liberian education? Very good. That's a segue right there. Samuel Govo, CDC can no longer, with Monrovia 100%. How about Liberia have laws? Rufus Wilson, Henry P. Costa is great, but his character is fraud, corrupt, and terrible. Watching, that's Amara Kamara watching from my end. Everett Harvey, hey guys. Nancy Nimble is watching. Amara Kamara writes, thanks for the program. Lesson Batu, how can you sway from presidential debate and agree to panel discussion? So Suleiman Renner, hey Bridge Radio, great show watching from the UK. We have Miss Victoria B. Cheeks in the building. Thank you, Mr. Garley. Those are the trending comments. But to the comment that was just read regarding two things, Pajibo and the e-learning. Mm-hmm. As we have done our research, we want to come on this platform, which we will have more information at another date. But we have researched and found that there is no e-learning at the education ministry for every student. Maybe for certain, but still that has not been proven. But to the point with Mr. the newsman, Mr. What's his name, Mr. Garley?
You mean Mr. Kwame Wicks?
Mr. Kwame Weeks, thank you very much. He stated that that was what was happening. But even today, Ms. Yomli Kanga said there is a thing where they're reading stories online, well, not online, on the radio, and then the students have 2 weeks to respond, or about a week to 2 weeks to respond to those questions. How do you do an educational system on that? But anyway, this is where we are with Liberia. And then we had a representative, Mr. Nambislo, who stated on his Facebook page, he was, well, bragging as most parents do, rightfully so, of his daughter's graduation or his kid's graduation. And one of his, fans or constituents made a comment. He then, and I quote, I will read this verbatim. Please play some music as I go to it, Mr. Garley.
Amara Kamara, Maurice Bennett, Kabab Mohammed Diakite from Europe. What's up, my brother? It's been a long time.
Yes.
Rashi S. Billy, Shelita. Aha! Are you ready?
Yes.
Go
This is from Mr. J. Nambislo, a representative in the House of Liberia. He writes, when I posted my daughter's academic achievements in the USA this morning, a Francis Z. Myers, buried under the crunch of hardcore jealousy, decided to reply with trash talking, claiming that I took my kids to America because I became a representative. Here is my response. This is Nambe Slow to the lunatic Francis Z. Myers. Talks are cheap. This is an example for your information. All my children were born in the States. I met their mom in the States in 2002. The mom is a U.S. citizen with a master's degree in nursing. She teaches nursing at the prestigious New Jersey College of Nursing. She also works at the prestigious St. Francis Medical Center in Trenton, New Jersey. I am on her insurance. The family gets first-class treatment on her. You want more? Our children, this is the main part. Our children, he writes, will never come here just to please you and other jealous people. If serving in your house requires bringing my children home to Liberia for them to compete with your children on the muddy avenue of academic degradation, then take your job and shove it up.
What?
Dr. Toba once said, Cottington is not for the children of bitter boss sellers. The same is true for the greatest country on earth, the USA. Only prepared people like my wife and I can make it there. All of our children are shining example. Happy Sunday. This is a representative talking about the educational system that he represents. Wow. It is true that sometimes, they say, what's in your heart cannot hide. But for you to say they who are to make the place suitable for the Liberians, here we are having a representative degrade our educational system. But Mr. Garley, I once said on another show that it should be a requirement that these lawmakers who have children in the country, who have school-age children, should have their children there going to school, because when you live there, and you would make things better for your children. And recently, I've heard Darius Dillon say that. But this is some of the stuff with the education system. Liberia is behind 42% as compared to their neighboring countries. Back to you, Mr. Garley.
Thank you. And this is what Nangwe Sloan was going through when he made that statement. And Nangwe Sloan. Now look at that. So you got Nangwe Sloan. You see him up interior. You say he a representative and he identifies with his people. You come on the social media and talk down on the same people that put you in office. How do you treat the people like this? Jeez. Back to the field player. State no score to either side. Kendall Campbell is in the building. Play something back to Ashton Carpet. Joseph Shah Famines. Oh man.
Everything where you go do. The money matter.
George Ware is back on the field. He's warming up.
Where you go done.
They say George Ware back strong. My name is
not money.
George Ware to Samuel Toy. Toy looks around to McGill. McGill to Bill Toy. Bill Toy looks around to Wilson Topic where he making it, he does it.
Jump before you go for walk.
Then the ball comes back to Bradbury. Bradbury to human trafficking, onto executive torture to nepotism. Nepotism to hard time to drugs abuse. Then the ball comes back to prostitution where he making no. The ball comes to Uri. Uri to Cummins. Cummins back to Uri to Yombly Kanga back to Joseph Human Boyka. Boyka to sign before you know.
I believe. Today I believe.
I thought you're supposed to know before you sign.
You will not be bachelor.
They power to you. People so anxious to take over now. They're rushing, making all the mistakes.
Everything.
This is the first final, the second final drive, then the third final drive.
Money.
Yombly Kanga said to your wait. We are still working on the final drive. When our final drive comes, then we'll show to y'all. We'll be getting your input too before we send it to the National Election Commission. Party with no identity. We still don't see a merger, but a party. If you don't put your act together, first food are full, second food and I'm full. Hey, Premier Gao. You won't be joking. Everybody at the National Election Commission on the George Ware win. George Ware is planning to teach you people lesson. Don't give on George Ware. Don't blink your eyeball on George Ware. So we have the CPP. Then we have the Rainbow Alliance. They won't be in the two-week party bending back now. This very corrupt they car roll. Reginald Goodrich that looted George Ware Mercedes Benz. They had to disgracefully pull him down from the Benz. 1996 during the April 6th. That time George Ware used to be a good man. At least he used to pretend as if he was a good man. And you will see the real character. The book writer said, Power does not change you. Power can actually reveal who you really are. And in this case, my people, you have not seen the real George Weah. So when Reginald Goodrich stole his card, and well, also you can take the member city, you know about King George, the soccer player. And George Weah went on to retire and became very broke. Then he decided to go into politics. But thank God George Weah became president. Because had it not been so, folks, we would have never had peace in our country. Thank God George Weah came and he's now serving. Henry Costa. Africa is not mission time. Henry Costa. Africa is not Liberia alone. Africa is not the CPP. Africa is not the COP. The world is watching you now, Henry Costa. Yep. You know more good words than bad words. Slow down small. You can say things to hurt people. But sometimes you take it too far. Slow down, Piggy. We all know the man able the job. We all know the man has failed the Liberian people.
The thing where you don't start marry. Now marry man and marry woman. Because everything where you go do.
Slow down on his smart. But right here with him. Just change out the vocabulary a little bit.
No John for Abakaleke. Abi. Now money.
We all know President Weah does not forgive.
Now money. But where you go job before you go for work? Abi.
Liberia is not the only country that is listening to you, my young brother.
Go job, Abi. Now money. Where you go children go get to go
in Africa.
Everything, Abi. Now money.
They have mentioned you now in the same sentence with Dakote,
I believe. But man,
the Ghanaian president, Alassane Ouattara.
Some call where you go catch you for bed. Now, wow.
You know you're one of the smarter talk show hosts alive. You know that.
Now money. You go single. Now money. You go work out.
Let's slow down. We are small, man.
Now, wow.
We are finished.
Husband, mama.
But you guys in the opposition, put your act together. We can sit here all on the social media. You need to practice, get up, go in the trenches, and convince the people to vote. That's what you all need to start doing. How can you turn the noise into vote? You have to put some, strap your boots, go downtown Liberia, go in the bushes, and convince the people.
Ça c'est la musique, ça c'est la vie.
Welcome to Uri to Cummins. Cummins back to Uri. Uri to Boycott to Cummins back to Boycott. And Cummins is telling Boycott, I really want to tell you. And Boycott looks up to Cummins and said, look at Cummins. You have 2% in Lofa County, 4% in Bapulu, 5% in Cape Mount, 7% in Bombay, 10% in Monserrato, 6% in Margibi, 5% in Bonk, 2% in Bassa, 6% in Nima, 2% in River Ses, 1.9% in Grand Jide, 2% in Sano, 5% in River G, 3% in Grand Cru. Maryland, you get what? 21%. You alone can go against that man they call George Weah. 37% in Lofa for George Weah, 39% in Bakpulu, 41% in Kipma, 48% in Bombe, 40% in Margibi, 8% in Bassa, 39%. River Sense, Grand Jide, 75%, Sano, 71%. How can you go against this man? But together, the CPP together would do damage to George Weah. I know you want to be president, Cummings, but the man who came closer, why you can't go second to him small so you can beat George Weah in the first round? How can you convince Joseph you my boycott for him to take you to be the president? Then you're kind of say, oh, I think you were wrong. They're probably getting old now. They probably say you're still strong. You don't try him say he ain't want yet I think that. So I said, we can be sleeping. Say, I can't sleep. Ashford, my eyebrow jet long. I don't sleep there. But then why you sign a team before you know it? Then you went to zone. The whole country business, you take it on zone. You call yourself serious people? That the one would take George Weah out of power? Yaka.
From the money pocket.
You get ready.
Where you go
Then the first thing you come with after you finish signing,
now money.
right here with them. If you're not active, if you're not known, we can't see you. You can't get a job.
Your children go chapel. Where you go children go
Just run away. Everybody all over the place.
I say, people they tell me, but I don't believe. Today I believe. But man, you
Frequent hand watching.
some call where you go catch you.
Stay home.
Now, wow,
Stay safe.
everything
And together,
you go chapel.
we will all get through this.
Now money, you go work out.
Still no score to either side. No score to Liberia. That's CDC representing Liberia. And no score to CPP. So Urinan is telling Cummings and boycott along with Mrs. Yomli Kanka Lawrence. We can do this. But we need to work together. Working together is one thing. But who's going to be on the top of the ticket to go against George Weah? Yes, Liberty Party, ALP, Unity Party, and the ANC. When you add the votes up, 733,000. That's a little over 61% of the vote. First round. comments. Comments say he has to be on top of the ticket. He said the only presidency he's interested in, nothing less. If it means that you have to go in the private sector, he will do so. But he wants to be president. So how can you convince Joseph Yuma Boyga? The way that Papi he ha. If Papi ain't get a presidency, yeah, he calls speed from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. This is my partner now. I will not listen to her. Forgetting to know that old lady is dangerous. Oh, that old man can play football. Political football. You able Ellen? That Ellen you won't try? Ellen said, oh. All the other people are sitting down. I went and selected you to come be my VP. At the end of the day, that me won't talk to like this. I will teach you lesson. And today we have George Weah as president of Liberia. George Weah has settled. He's sitting down now. Let's grab the presidency. The same thing Samuel Doe said before the 1985 election. Doe said I won't go back to the barrier. I'm an army man. And then the people fool him. They said, Doe, you sure you won't go back to the barracks? So you go back to the barracks, the team will get by in other people hand again. So Doe said he called Sawyer, he called Backup Matthews, Tipo Ted, and you see, y'all go have meetings. Y'all bring one candidate. Who y'all want to be president? The same thing that we see within the CPP. Everybody wanted to be president. So Doe said, but the president here, then that's smart here. I'm going by inside again. If I'm not mistaken, I think the most rigged election was the one in 1985 when Jackson Doe won that election. Doki and took it. That election sent us back 100 years. George Weah, 2020, 2023, we should have elections. Any attempt, Royal Librarian said, there'll be a problem. We're asking you now. You came, at least you tested the presidency. Let the people decide for themselves. Any attempt by you, Mr. President. That trouble you bring here. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Give the people the chance to decide. So you got the CPP, you got the Rainbow Alliance.
But man, you will not be bachelor.
Well, hearing now if Dara Dillon win the election in 2020, whether October or December, then he is said to he won't be president. I don't know who that be fooling the people and said, man. Yeah, you can't wait for your time. They 2x4 channel let a can I Jeffy or something. Oh, my name. Liberia, the elephant meat. Some people get false teeth. They want you, the elephant, in the wrong jaw. Then they gotta run back to the dentist to fix their teeth. The way elephant meat hard to chew. Want to go back and tell Rebo comments? Before we do that, please hold on. I think the game is getting tough now. The ball come to corruption. Corruption to false promises, back to corruption to D-hole, cover hole. The ball come to Vavon back to D-hole, cover hole. He making it, he doesn't. Then the ball come to Hartan to please pay my way. Please pay my way to Hunter. Hunter back to please pay my way on the Boyo. Boyo to prostitution, on to D-hole, cover hole, back to prostitution. He making it, he doesn't. Ladies and gentlemen, this could be trouble. The ball come to corruption. Corruption to witch hunt. Witch hunt back to corruption, on to false promises, back to deception. Deception to Vavon. Vavon is moving deep in hand of the field. He make it. He's moving. Ladies and gentlemen, Vavon has been brought down in the 18-yard box. Penalty now awarded to CPP. You know, you got Vonvon on CPP side, and you also got Vonvon on CDC side. In this case, the Vonvon that were on the CPP side caused the penalty against CDC. And let's see who takes the penalty kick, folks. I'm telling you. Play-by-play description. This afternoon, Samuel Kando Sports Complex. CDC against CPP. Last man number 1 is the Senate. Last man number 2, House of Representatives. The chief referee is the Supreme Court of Liberia. March Commissioner, National Election Commission. Chief commentator, the microphone medicine. That now you know me, Garley. Let's go. Even though Vonvon calls the penalty, but Alexander Cummings said he wants to take the penalty kick. So the same thing they used to tell Alexander Cummings when he first surfaced in 2015 and he got into Liberian politics. Nobody know you. That the same thing not coming out there around, coming work out there, they're not around. They say you gotta be active, no invisible. So Cummings say, and you told me, say, nobody knew me. So the few are now coming, going from county to county. The people know him small. But he said enough for 2023. He's got a lot of work to do. So Cummings wants to take the penalty kick. Vonvon said, no, I won't take it. Cummings said, no, they didn't take it. So Benina, Urena, and Boyka, when you become they talking to Cummings. Cummings said, that Vonvon caused the penalty kick. That Vonvon take the penalty. Cummings said, no, I won't take it. If I can't take the penalty kick, then I'll just go in the private sector. I can help support my country from the private sector, but the penalty kick I won't take. That president, me, the presidency that what I want. If I don't get the presidency, then they're like, So they've all decided that St. Cummings is the captain, even though the penalty was caused by Vonvon. They're coming go to the penalty kick. And Cummings walks to the ball. They say, Shopman get behind. My Nemo. Cummings shoot. This could be trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Goal number 1 for CPP. 1 goal to CPP. And nothing. Absolutely nothing. To CDC. George, we have Vezo. Some people say, George, we are afraid of Cummings. But George, we are on the other hand, say you pull Cummings together, you pull Ure, you pull Boyka, and Yombi, I will beat all of them. And the why, depending on. And you see me building houses in Grand Judah. And you see me building houses in my whole town, Southtown, Grand Crew. I'm coming to start building houses now in other parts of the country. I built the most roads in the country than any other administration. You see, for the 3 years I served, I have been the most successful president in the history of Liberia for 3 years. Now your president talking so, my name. Oh man. 1 goal to CPP and nothing. Nothing to CDC. The ball is down back in the field of play. The ball comes to corruption. Corruption to George Weah. George Weah back to corruption. Corruption to false promises onto deception to lies. Lies to false promises onto borrowing initiative. Borrowing initiative to D-Ho, Cover-Ho, back to borrowing initiative. Will he making he doesn't, the ball comes back to George Weah. George Weah to Joy Howard Taylor, back to George Weah. On to Bill Twawe. Bill Twawe back to Samuel Twawe. Twawe back to Weah. Weah is moving deep in the half of the field. That no-nonsense dribbler. The wish-out dribbler. He's moving deep in the heart of the field. He shoot, ladies and gentlemen. Ball intercepted by Ure. Ure back to Cummings. Cummings back to Ure. Ure to Joseph Yuma Boyka. Boyka to Yombli Kanga. We are intercepts. He beats woman. Puts it up for the team, man. Ladies and gentlemen, George Weah has been brought down in the 18-yard box. Penalty awarded now to CDC. 1 goal to CPP and nothing to CDC. Penitent on the water to CDC, folks. Play-by-play description this afternoon. The SKD Sports Complex in Pingsville. Oh, man. Let's have fun. Where's the birthday lady? Michael Cooper Kokoya. Congratulations. Mr. Alexander Cloud Collins. Samuel Garson Williams. Joseph Shah Thummons. Emmanuel Summer. Vida Donald. Vendel Campbell. Oh, man. Pressure Trosset. Kevin Precious Howard. And the rest of the crew. Datrina Flood. George Weah is the captain for CDC. And he's going to take that pen and the cake. George Weah walks to the ball. Move 1-2. He shoot. Ladies and gentlemen. That's the equalizer. But football, man, Aaron, all years back. So 1 goal to CDC. And 1 goal to CPP. And that's how we come to the end of the first half. Everybody's moving off the field now. We'll grab something to drink. Don't go away. We still have time for the second and final portion. Big brother Jazuyan M. Sowell. It's been a long time, my man. Elizabeth Ben here. Oh, man. The game is crowded this afternoon. 1 goal to CPP and 1 goal to CDC. Want to go back to Information Highway and see what the people are saying around the field. Who do you think going to win the game tonight? 1 goal to CDC and 1 goal to CPP. Joy Howard Taylor said, if you can't join the CDC, you will not get a job. Yuri Cummins, Boyka, and Yomli Kanga are saying, if you're not known, if you're not visible, if you're not active, you will not get a job. Then that's something we install. Mrs. Letty Brooks Roberts.
Yes, I'm right here.
Some more comments, please. Let's see. It's halftime now. 1 goal to CDC and 1 goal to CPP. Play-by-play description this afternoon at the SKD Sports Complex. Go ahead and do your thing.
Well, somebody wants to know, Mr. Garley, Aaron Jockey. He says, where is Gorilla Foster Child? One of your famous players.
He injured. Yeah.
The Super Shah Thomas says, Jay Nangba's law insulted Liberia and the Liberian people by saying Liberia is a shithole country and his children will never go there for school. Let's add that to school. Christian Kazi, he says, I am watching from Dallas City. Hi, Mr. Garley and our big sister. Thanks for the podcast, guys. Maurice Pelham says, I'm watching from my end. Miss Lionel Ponies is in the house. Or Mr. Amara Kamara. Even Weah workshop, the most powerful God on earth. He can't be president. Potitek Water Side. Water Inside. I love this show and Bridge Radio. Maurice Pelham is watching from Pennsylvania. Kaba Mohammed Dakiti. I am watching you from Brussels, Belgium, brother. Rashad S. Barley, he says, that's a mess. Shirley Ta, I'm watching from North Dakota, Fargo. Amara Kamara, Weah is a bad element to our nation. Samuel Garson Williams, I knew that was a lie with this e-learning. Kaba Mohammed Zakita says, I am okay, my brother. And you? My dual pillar son. If you think the lady is lying, Mrs. Lawrence, why not go and do some digging to prove her wrong instead of calling her names? Amos George, they can put all the Southeastern countries together. He cannot win because the population is not there. Bum County alone is populated than all those in the Southeast. Patience Slew, I blame the Liberian people. Josefa Shah Thomas, is that a Congo man saying that Jay Nangwe's law said? Is that a Congo man saying that? Saying what? Jay Nangwe's law said? I'm sorry. And then we have Amara Kamara. Can you listen to that nonsense Jay Nangwe's law said? Bless Sampong Batu. I don't blame him. Very arrogant. Austin Cafe writes, that's whiskey and soda. Patience D. Slew is sweet for Liberian people because Samuel Garson Williams, the citizens need to run him out of Liberia. My dual son, Mr. Garley, I think the Liberian people deserve the talk down by the representative. Liberians need to learn how to vote. Philip Ware, let us look for the good elements that will bind Liberia back to the way we want. If we can be satisfied with what we have, then we are not going anywhere. Ask yourself, or if we can, ask God. We will move forward. But if can then look around you. Liz Moba Jala is watching. Jackson Camo, he says, when Garley is in the house, blank, blank, blank. Victoria B. Cheeks, I'm watching from New Jersey. Letty Brooks Roberts, congratulations to the class of 2020. James Momo, he says, James Momo is watching. Patricia Peters, yes, true. Henry P. Costa, don't let the pain drag you down. Philip Ware, Costa, he now know how to control his speech. Be careful, boy. Josefa Shah Thomas replying to Philip, go and control George Weah's speech. Henry Passaway, good evening. I'm watching from North Carolina, Charlotte. Samuel Garson Williams, Costa is our Rush Limbaugh of Liberia. Princess Chosen, Ashford, the Giants Garley. She's running. Philip Paswa writes, ha ha ha. Just sit on Facebook and keep saying President George Weah finish. The beating President George Weah will give the old age, not be small one step. Josefa Shah Thomas, together we will get George Weah one-term president. Take it to the bank. Princess Chosen, if you can't shake from the waist below, we don't know you. Josefa Shah Thomas, the CPP is in the winning seat. Few more and I will give it back to you, Mr. Garley. Elizabeth Matu Tadman White, right. My style, the Giants Garley. George Sally, no one can win George Weah. Just come from Liberia, my brother. Jackson Camo, great discussion, great education. Love the disciplined radio voice because you have been in the business for long, Garley. Vida Dunno. He can't lie past. He can lie past hell. Josepha Shah Thomas. George Weah. Let me inform you, a Liberia presidency is not different from the Lone Star. George Weah. 11. So you should start getting ready to serve your term with Charles Tiller. Ooh.
Mm.
Alexander Clark Collins replying to Emmanuel, right on what? His building hurts all over calling them houses just to get Liberia action. Last but not least, we have Vida Dunner. She says, hope he missed the ball and kicked McGill butt. Okay. Shirley Tar. The game is very interesting. Still watching. Back to you, Mr. Garley.
Thank you. At breaking news. You ready for this? You know, the same way the Henry Costa can't stand George Weah. George Weah also cannot stand Henry Costa. The other day, you know, when Costa was in Liberia, I think George Weah heard that somebody told George Weah, said, "Oh, George, did you hear that Henry Costa was involved in an accident?" George Weah said, "Is he at Struggle Funeral Home?" They just said the man involved in accident. You're asking whether the man at Struggle Funeral Home.
Quand on est marié, je suis prêt.
Samuel Abud is in the building.
Belle femme.
Enough Thomas is also in the building tonight. Smith Darwin,
Music.
Elijah Koto, Justice Ware is in the building as well. The ball comes to George Ware. George Ware to corruption. Corruption back to George Ware. George Ware to witch hunt. Witch hunt back to George Ware. George Weah wants everything for himself. George Weah got the deer on his side, the fallen tongue on his back. The small little squirrel, he still wants it. George Weah has now become the Susu Pa for Liberia.
Na marry man and marry woman. Because
172 hands.
go do.
George Weah will eat 172 times.
Pocket.
And all the Susu hands get there 14. 172 times. Greed! Greed!
But where you go jump before you go?
Ball comes back to George Weah to Von Von. Von Von back to George Weah. Then the ball comes back to D-Ho cover hole to Opion King Kong. Opion King Kong back to D-Ho cover hole. On to false promises to deception. Deception to lies.
Everything I be.
Lies to false promises. On to prostitution.
I said.
Prostitution to drugs abuse. Drugs abuse looks around what he making. He doesn't. The ball has been taken away by better now. You're right.
You will not be bachelor. Some call where you go catch you for bed.
Thank you, Smith Darwin.
Now wow.
But I glad tonight.
Everything. Now money. You go chop. Now money.
But Smith Darwin, I just visited the Cash App.
Go work out.
I didn't even pin any Cash App. But he's one of the regular givers, so he knows the Cash App's number. You know what I mean? Thank you, Smith Darwin, as always, for your contribution. Ball back to Von Von. Von Von back to Uri. Uri back to Opion King Kong. Opion King Kong back to Uri. On to Alexander Cummins. Cummins to Boyka. Boyka back to Cummins. Cummins back to Yombly Kanka Lawrence. Will she make it? She double shovel. She beats so man. Puts it up for the timber. The ball comes back to Uri. Uri to Boyka. Boyka to Cummins. Cummins loses the ball now to George Ware. George Weah to McGill. McGill to Samuel Toy. Samuel Toy 65 downfield intended for Western got faded. Faded doesn't get a better head. The ball comes to the dribbler. George Weah himself. The wizard dribbler. Somebody say turn wizard. Oh, man. So the breaking news there. The other day. Somebody called Joe and said Henry Costa involved in an accident. He said, where is he? Is he at Stratford Funeral Home? Or is he at St. Moses? The level of hate among the Liberian people for politics, business, and fun. You want the other person to suffer, the other person want you to suffer. Then now suffer. Then the CPP say, this is not the final draft. This is just a draft. How can you affix your signature to a draft? Then you go on Zoom. The whole country business at Zoom now you will discuss it. That's serious people then, yes, so. The how you will unsee George Weah. Pregnancy can't go beyond where it can come from. Liberia is pregnant right now. Waiting on 2023. And any attempt by George Weah to tamper with the election, you will hear from the Liberian people. Liberia is not for you. You don't own this country. This country belongs to all of us. That body people do now, they say Senegal people giving us hard time. Let a jet put somebody there. You play football, you made a lot of money. You squandered your money for reasons best known to yourself. You regain your wealth at the expense of Liberia and the poor Liberian people. If that's what we get in return, President Weah,
c'est ça, man. Quand on est marié,
stop to treat your people right.
belle femme,
Citizens are crying everywhere.
couché,
They themselves are complaining
music.
about the way the man is treating our country.
Yep.
That's so shame and embarrassment. God damn. And some of them in the city, they'll tell your friend that we try. Say we tried to talk to him, but he can't listen. And they play George Weah is out right now. And he does not have the listening ears on. George Weah will do what he wants to do. And if you think you're gonna stay on the social media, you are joking. There's not enough. Strap the boots. Go to Liberia. Go from door to door. Go from counter to counter. Some people then running behind George Weah. They even know what they're running behind George Weah for. Since the man became president, never took a country tour to tell the people thank you. And the Zanen community is going all over from country to country. Hey, Cummins, it's not enough, oh. Politics are number game, oh. Yeah. God will spare your lives, all of you. God will see who will become president in 2023. We want fair play and justice for Liberia. Liberians are bladed, they're tired. People are dying from starvation. People so frustrated now, they're killing themselves. Suicidal.
You go single, now money. You go work out.
I listened to a young little girl the other day. She said, you know what? I just want to kill myself. There's suffering too much in this country. So this is a man who says he has the country at heart. It's just all about himself. That's what they all do. They come and tell you and say, you know what, I love the country. Give me change. When I get there, I will do X, Y, and Z. At the end of the day, Liberia will continue to suffer. Liberia has just now become this hopo Joe. Everybody wants to sleep with Liberia. Liberia sent you to school. You went abroad, got educated. Liberia has now become, they want to pay your child support, to pay your mortgage, to pay your student loan. You complain for 12 years. Oh, when we get there, we'll do this and do that. You finally get the opportunity to lead the country. When you're in the corruption part. Back in the day, our parents took 15, 20 years to build one house. Today, the politician then, within 60 days, the house is done. And then they start to order their things. I don't know how many of you remember LPA back then. They used to take my late father whole year to pay for one bundle of zinc. 5 years to pay for bedroom set. Before the 5 years come near set, then the bed spoil. But you still owing. Today, politician, I don't know why you keep talk about them for. When the country is more corrupt than ever before. I mean, what just did we do to deserve this? Back to the field of play. The ball comes to George Weah. George Weah, the corruption. Corruption back to George Weah, where he make it. Then the ball comes back to false promises. False promises to D-hole cover hole. D-hole cover hole to borrow initiative. How can you borrow something that does not belong to you? And you don't even ask. You just borrow it. And Simon Twitch just put a word together called, put a phrase together called borrowing initiative. Then Eugene and we come and you say that D-hole cover hole. You say, when I take it, but we'll take it today. When we'll take it, we'll get some money, then we'll put it back. Then you raw Paul to pay Peter. In this day and age, in Liberia, they're just laughing at us.
C'est ça, man. C'est ça, man.
They're laughing at us. Hey, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You do it, oh man. You can. You brought respect to Liberia. You and your sons destroyed the country. As if it was not enough. But you give us this boy from Gibraltar. My people, we inside. We are soaking wet inside.
You know,
Back to the field of play.
marry,
Ball comes to Yuri.
marry woman. You know something?
Yuri to
Everything where you go do,
Boyka.
the money matter.
Boyka to sound before you know.
Okay.
I thought Joseph Yuma Boyka came from Lofa.
Where you go, go
But I
down.
didn't know you had ties with Sando County. How can you sign the paper before you know, man?
Your children go go school, oh. They're not go go
Then they
school.
telling him, they say, oh, they put that inside. You say, why they put inside?
But where
You
you
say,
go
if they don't know you,
for work?
if they can't see you,
Now money.
if you can't come around,
Go chop, oh. Abi, now money.
active, known, visible,
Where you go?
if they can't see you, you will not get job, oh.
Everything.
Boy, I said, oh, they put it there. You say, yeah, they put it there. He said, why is it that yo?
People they tell me, but I don't believe.
Aha.
I believe. But man, you will not be bachelor. Oh. Some call where you go catch you for bed.
We are into injury stopping time now, folks.
Everything.
One go to CPP
Chop, oh. Now money. You go.
and one go to CDC.
You go work out.
The ball comes to Opium King Kong. Opium King Kong to Von Von. Von Von by the Opium King Kong. Will he make it? Then the ball comes by the D-hole cover hole. D-hole cover hole to corruption. Corruption by the D-hole cover hole to lies. Lies to false promises. On to boring initiative. What has been taken away now by Alexander Cummins. Cummins, you work hard for your money. I think we ain't see you in corruption yet. But the boycott you were the young can other than not smell corruption. Yes, I'm coming get chasing the fun girl you call Liberia. That girl be my jewel. That girl be my jewel. The Jew running away from coming still running behind the Jew. Yuri Cummins, Yuri boycott Yombly. We all know what it did in Liberia. You think Benin Yuri inherit his wealth? Yombly Kanga was there as senator under Madam Salim's administration. All the Booker's concession agreements that they signed for. And do you believe that Josiah Human Boycott was vice president for 12 years? And he didn't close his eye on something to say that, hey, I'm begging you, man. Hey, comments. Voting. And folks, one go to CPP and one go to CDC. Back to the field of play the ball comes to where we are to Eugene Nangwe onto Western got Finley. Finley looks around, he double shovels, he base man, puts it on the team, the ball comes by the Eugene Nangwe onto Samuel Toe. Cemetery that the guy with the diarrhea from the mouth. Sometimes you don't even know whether Samuel Toe is the finance minister or he's the information minister. Oh, the boy can talk. And the higher finger on the long too. What is it? When I bought Justify for you, that he didn't take money. You believe him straight. And then the sedition, then we did it. Baku, you strong. I'll consider something else, man. You need to pray for Liberia. I pray for the people of Liberia. Mr. Joel Sala, Smith Dawyer, Elizabeth Hand, Philip Basua, Womi Wokimen Sidolo, and the rest of the crew. Folks, the ball comes to Yuri. Yuri, the boy comes back to Cummins. Coming back to Yuri. Yuri back to Cummins. He's moving deep in out of you. Then the ball comes to active, no, invisible. No CPP, no jaw. Cummins to Yombly Kangalore. Back to Cummins. He's moving deep in and out of the field. Ladies and gentlemen, this could be trouble. Cummins back to Yuri. Yuri to Boyka back to Cummins. When he making no, he doesn't. The boy is way off target. Making him no trouble now. And folks, I'm afraid also the time we have to be with you tonight. This is how we come to the end of the game. But before then, we're going to go back to Information Highway, where Mrs. Letty Brooks Rabbit is standing by for her parting comments. Mrs. Rabbits.
Yes, Mr. Garley, thank you for a wonderful game. We want to say thank you to our audience. Thank you to all of those that participated in the commentary. We want to say thank you, and always you're welcome for coming to join us on Bridge TV Africa. In parting, I would like to read a few words. In congratulating the people that we just talked about, the graduates, and Mr. Costa, Mr. Alexander Cummins, and to all of our listening audience, to the Liberian people, words are powerful force of nature. They are destruction. They are nourishment. They are flesh. They are water. They are flowers and bone. They burn. They cleanse. They erase. They etch. They can either leave you feeling homeless or brimming with home. Just remember that when you talk about Liberia, we have to uplift Liberia. It's the words we're using Everybody's saying we are stupid, we are this, we are that. But you're bringing us down. We have to change our mindset to bring our country to a different level. I thank you, Mr. Garley. It's always a pleasure serving as a member of BridgeTV.com. Have a
Thank,
great evening.
thank you. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you folks for taking off time off your busy schedule just to form part of the production tonight. Again, happy birthday to Mrs. Michael Cooper Kokoye. This one comes from all of your friends in Liberia and the diaspora. Folks, please allow me to borrow the words of the wise man. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. The height of a man is never known until he rises, and there's no second chance to make that first impression. When God bless you, don't say that medicine. Don't see okra and swallow bone. This has been yours truly. This is Ashford the Giant. One copy. The golden voice of Liberia. The microphone medicine. That now you know, man. Have a good night.
On tient plein. Dans le mariage, il y a que l'homme la femme. C'est temps d'avoir une belle toute la vie. I want to be husband, mama. What you not gonna do, yo? I want to be housewife, papa. What you not gonna do, yo?